we already know that we can create variables like this, and that is cool, but we can also create objects. With objects, we are going to have several values tied together. For example, I can say let person equal to, and in order to declare an object in JavaScript, we must use curly braces. And in here, I can declare properties. Properties are individual values of an object. An object can have many properties. For example, I can say here country colon here and say something like Dominican Republic, and that is one property of the person object. I can also say something like last name equal to Gavilan, and then our object has two properties. We're not limited to using strings as properties. I can use numbers like age equal to 999 or date equal to new date. As you can see, we can have many properties of many types. What we're going to study in this video is enhanced object literals, which means that we're not limited to just using this kind of operation, but we can actually do more. For example, as you can see, we have last name here and last name here. And I am basically repeating this same value here. But maybe you don't want that. Maybe you just want to have this property, the value of this property, as the value of this variable. For that, you can actually delete the value of this property. And that's actually it. Now, last name has the value of this variable that we have here. We can do the same for age. Now the value of person age is 999 because this is the value that we have here. Let me show you that. Let me console log that. I can say console log person.age, and now I will go to the terminal, new terminal, and I will say node enhance tab enter, and as you can see we have 999 here because the value of this age is the value that we have here. But that is not everything. We're not limited to using simple values like strings and numbers and dates. We can also use functions. For example, I can say here normal function, and here I can declare a function as a property of this person object. Then I can say something like person normal function, and I can run that function by using the person object. I can also use an arrow function. I can say arrow function equal to, and here I can define my arrow function. Just like my normal function, I can come here and say person.arrow function, and I can execute my arrow function. Something cool that we can do is to have dynamic properties. Here you can see that I am saying that country is equal to Dominican Republic. That is fine, but what if we want to have this dynamically? What if we want to have a variable here? We can do that. Let's say here, let property name equal to country, and then let property value equal to, I'll say Mexico this time. And now instead of having country here, I will delete this, I will delete all of this, and I will say a square bracket property name equal to property value, comma. And that's actually it. Now person has the country property because this will get evaluated to country and property value will get evaluated to Mexico. Let's see that. Let's come down here and let me say console log person. I will console log the entire person object. I will save and I'll come back here. Node enhance object literals. I'll press enter. And now as you can see we have country Mexico, which means that indeed this is working. Now how can I access this property that we have here? Well, let's try the following. Let me say here country, and now this will work. Let me press enter. This will work, Mexico, but this is not good because we don't know if in runtime we're going to actually have a country property in our person object. Another way of doing this is to use a square bracket here. In this way, I can pass property name, and this will get evaluated, and then we're going to get here the value Mexico. Let's do that. Let me come here and let me run this one more time, and now as you can see, again we have Mexico, but this time we are using this notation in which we can pass as a parameter the property of the object that we want to read. This is really useful for when you want to get the value of an object and that property, that value, is dynamic. This can be the parameter of a function. Let's see an example of that. Let's say return value from person equal to prop, and I will say here person prop, and as you can see, ahead of time we don't know which property we are going to try to read from the person object, but here I can say, for example, console log return value from person, and I can pass whatever property we have here. For example, I can pass last name. Let me come here and say last name, and then I will save and I will run this one more time, and as you can see, we have here Marrero because we have Marrero here.